So, sorry, sir, we're taking lines. Sir, we're taking lines. Sir, we're having people write their names on the piece of paper.
American citizens before migrants. Oh. Hell. American citizens. Don't you touch me. Don't touch me. Get your hands off me. Where are you on the migrant issue? You're absent. American citizens. You're throwing veterans out of this country. Where are you? You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
Okay.
So next, we're going to go with nuclear war with Russia. We're sending F-16. If we send F-16s, we're on the verge of nuclear war. Is that okay? Are you going to stop this war? Okay, are you going to stop this war? That's my question. Are we going to?
Yeah, we know about the
paper. Yeah, we know about the paper. Why are you afraid of your constituents?
Activity because it has been creating a lot of harm to poor and indigenous people.
Alright guys, so as we discussed on my channel a whole lot, big blue liberal cities are experiencing an immigration crisis, okay? Not a crisis nearly as big as Texas, but they're experiencing a crisis because Governor Greg Abbott from Texas has decided to send the border to their doorstep, okay? Because allegedly, they are sanctuary cities, okay? They're supposed to be welcoming towards migrants, okay? However, when they actually got what they asked for, now the people of some of these cities, again, like Washington, D.C., New York City, Chicago, and their woke mayors, now all of a sudden they don't like illegal immigration too much because they realize that illegal immigrants definitely contribute to crime, that they are a strain on the social safety net, okay, and that, hey, we just really don't have the resources and the housing to take care of these people who, a lot of whom have come here unvetted, okay? You have a lot of grown adult males, okay? Mainly from like Venezuela, right? Places like that, which, you know, to me personally, I would much rather have Venezuelan women than the Venezuelan males, right? I'm just saying, maybe I wouldn't be making such a fuss about this if most of the migrants were Venezuelan women and children, but that's just simply not the case, okay? It's a bunch of grown men, and I'm not down with that. Yeah, so again, you have cities like New York City that claims to be a sanctuary city. They're receiving these migrants because Greg Abbott is sending them to a place where they're allegedly wanted, okay? There are 60,000 asylum seekers using public services, right? The social safety net in the state of New York, and they've been complaining about it since the first day that they got a bus load of these migrants that showed up to their city. And again, these migrants are causing all types of problems as, again, they're being housed in hotels.
I was a site administrator at the Row Hotel. So in the hotel, we have close to 5,000 migrants. If anything involving this hotel, I was helping run it. Everything ranging from doctor's visits to medication is paid for the migrants. Anything you can possibly think of, it's being given to them. Car seats, cribs for newborns. There's, I want to say, at least 2 to 3 babies a week being born at this hotel. The migrants being in those hotels have destroyed them. There's a lot of alcohol in these rooms. Housekeeping is there all week, and they'll clean it, and by the end of the night, there's kids getting drunk together. There's people hooking up with each other. There's multiple guns in these rooms as well. The alarming thing is that this hotel is meant to be a family hotel.
You were actually showing me some text messages between a social worker about a drunk 10-year-old in this hotel. Can you talk to us about what happened there?
Yeah, it was a drunk 10-year-old who was caught with a 14 and a 12-year-old, and all three of them were intoxicated. And when we looked them up in the system, the parents had checked out 2 days ago.
So their parents just left them there?
Yeah, the parents will leave the kids unattended in the hotel. We heard a security guard start yelling, there's a gun on site, there's a gun on site. It was probably an upset person that we had kicked out of the hotel. I myself had been assaulted. I've seen other people get assaulted. I've had threats saying, you know, we'll be waiting for you guys outside. There's been times where staff has had to be, you know, escorted to their cars, to their trains.
Because the migrants are threatening them.
Yeah. Often at times there was migrants causing chaos with shoplifting. The one instant where I showed you that video, aside from being caught shoplifting, they started getting physical. And a lot of the times it was, you know, go calm the migrant down, get him inside the hotel. I've been doing this for 5 years. And in my 5 years, this has been the worst experience by far. The city of New York does not know what they're doing, and it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, so clearly, right, you have some issues going on, all types of shenanigans, which, again, is extremely predictable, right? The conservatives have been telling liberals, hey, you really don't want this, right? You really don't want a bunch of people coming here undocumented. We don't know who they are, right? We don't know much about them. You really don't want this. But they said, no, you're a bigot, right? But, again, you have the citizens of New York City. They're pissed, okay? They're standing up to the Democrats and the agenda that they have put forth in regards to just letting these migrants in our country. And one of the main supporters of that is AOC, okay, who wants amnesty, who wants open borders. And she had a town hall, and let's just say her constituents showed up to let her know that they did not like the fact that they have a migrant crisis in the city and how she's a supporter of open borders. Also, at the same time, they let her know about a bunch of other issues that they have with her, like, for example, her voting to continue to send more money to Ukraine. I mean, they just gave her absolute mouthful. Take a look.
So, sorry, sir, we're taking lines. Sir, we're taking lines. Sir, we're having people write their names on the piece of paper.
American citizens before migrants. Hell.
Thank you.
American citizens. Don't you touch me. Don't touch me. Get your hands off me. Where are you on the migrant issue? You're absent. American citizens. You're throwing veterans out of this country. Where are you? You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
Okay. The president has come out saying that he also believes that he has this authority. What he has also said is that he is not sure if he is able to implement the authority in time for the June 5th deadline. And so that is where we see kind of this impasse. I still believe, first of all, that we should start to implement it anyway, because we should eliminate the debt limit in the United States because of the constitutional. Now, let me share something. I will share something.
You claim that you voted for.
And I will share something. I don't like that Republicans passed a 1.7 trillion tax cut on the wealthiest people in this country. I don't like that we continue to report our military budget. I don't like that we have enormous amounts of.
If you deny our support, it is not your turn. How about you wait your turn? Freedom of speech.
That was not
That's not right.
You idiot!
That is exactly why we use paper slips. So next, we're going to go with
nuclear war with Russia. We're sending F-16. If we send F-16s, we're on the verge of nuclear war. Is that okay? Are you going to stop this war? Okay, are you going to stop this war? That's my question. Are we going to?
Yeah, we know about the paper.
Yeah, we know about the paper. Why are you afraid of your constituents?
Because it has been creating a lot of harm to poor and indigenous people, and we've also been able to fit that in.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Clearly, AOC's constituents have an issue with her stance when it comes to immigration and funding for the war in Ukraine. But what I want to spend the last part of this video talking about is this silly claim that the left always makes when they are questioned about their fiscal policy, okay? The fact that they spend so much money and that they're driving this country into more and more debt, okay? That's what they're doing. And they want to excuse doing irresponsible things like, for example, getting rid of the debt ceiling, right? Basically saying, look, we should be allowed to spend, you know, whatever amount of money we want to spend, okay? We don't need any spending cuts. We don't need to actually have any fiscal responsibility. They excuse that by saying, well, the GOP gave tax cuts for the rich, which is just false, right? It's false, okay? Because when they keep saying that most of the tax cuts went to folks at the top and corporations, right, that pay no taxes, this is what they say, right? All of it went there. The middle class got no benefit. That's just false, okay? In fact, 3 of every $4 in the 2017 tax cut went to individuals, cutting taxes for the lowest income Americans by 10% while cutting taxes for the top 1% by less than 0.5%. And, okay, in the 2017 GOP tax reform bill, corporations effectively paid 85% of their tax cuts thanks to eliminating special tax provisions and broadening the U.S. tax base. Also, on top of that, if you don't believe me, we have the Washington Post, okay, who actually has fact-checked the Democrats coming out here and making this silly claim about the GOP tax cuts. Like, for example, they gave Bernie Sanders 3 Pinocchios for making this claim right here, which is that $2 trillion in tax breaks went to the wealthiest people in the country and the largest corporations, right? We're going to read this conclusion here from a fact check for the Washington Post, because, again, this is a far-left outlet, and for them to come out here and say that, well, you guys are being inaccurate about what these tax cuts actually did, you know there's some truth here. So let's read here. Sanders is wrong to claim that $2 trillion in tax breaks went to the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations. Most Americans across all income spectrums receive some sort of tax cut, but the share of the tax cuts for the top 1% was not as much as the share they pay in taxes, and some of the super wealthy experienced tax increases. There are limits placed on a new tax deduction for pass-through businesses owned by wealthy individuals. A big chunk of the tax cut did go to large corporations, and the savings were substantial, but companies with a lot of foreign income may have ended up with higher taxes, and there were limits on tax breaks given to the wealthy who own pass-through businesses. We've previously given 4 Pinocchios to statements that only the wealthy gain from the 2017 tax cut, but Sanders' reference to large corporations reduces our rating to 3 Pinocchios. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, even the Washington Post, the far-left liberal outlet, is saying, yeah, you guys can't come out here and make this false claim that the 2017 GOP tax cuts only went towards the rich. Okay, it's ridiculous. But again, they throw that out there as an excuse for them to do whatever type of irresponsible fiscal policy that they want to do, right? And it's just amazing to me how they believe that the American people are going to continue to fall for this kind of stupidity, right? And it's just, again, kind of glorious to see AOC once again getting heckled and confronted by her own constituents, I just wish they would vote her out, right? I just wish there was enough of these people that were angry and upset to actually vote her out. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.